morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming to 1 Million Cups, and I see a lot of students in the audience today, so that's pretty awesome. So this is the first time that any 1 Million Cups across the country has done a student day. We're blazing a new path, so we're really excited. We've got 3 presenters this week, 3 different students that are talking about businesses that are either active or that they have the business plan for and they're wanting to explore how could this work. So what's great for them is that they're going to get to the experience of sharing that business with us, and then they're going to get the feedback from real entrepreneurs. They'll say, here's some ideas, support them so we can raise up the next generation of entrepreneurs. So we're super excited to have them. If you haven't been to 1 Million Cups before, it's a community event just to support and educate entrepreneurship, both current entrepreneurs and people who want to be entrepreneurs. We're in 10 cities. 50 cities now. Tulsa started last October. We were the 20th city, I think, so it's grown a lot. So it's a great nationwide movement. We're going to be, over the next couple of weeks, have more companies from around the country come and present who have started in cities like Springfield or Kansas City, Dallas, and things like that. So we're here every Wednesday, 9 o'clock. So hope that you'll keep coming and joining. So I'm going to introduce our first presenter, Suhas. Suhas just graduated from Union High School, and he is working on an app idea that will help connect schools, parents, students, teachers, all in one place. So give a big warm welcome to Suhas.
My name is Suhas, as you just said. I just graduated Union High School. I'm attending OU in the fall. I thought of this idea about a couple months ago with a group of friends through JA, which is Junior Achievement. So I thought of the idea of creating an app for my school, basically, which incorporates parents, teachers, and students to go on one general site where they can learn information about the school. So they have more current, up-to-date information about the school through activities and such stuff that involves schools and school communities. So the reason I did this basically is because I thought there's no centralized way for students, parents, and teachers to get information about current events that's happening. You could go to the school website, but then you get everything that's going on, like everything that's happened, and some people don't want that. They just want stuff that's happening right now so they can go attend it. Like if you want to go to a football game, you have to go through the website, you have to go to some other website, and then you can find the ticket, and by the time you buy the ticket, you're so tired and bored with it, you just don't even want to go to the game anymore unless you're really excited about it. So I thought this was like a great way where you can just go to an app, which everybody uses, because everybody has an iPhone or an Android phone or something like that that's so easy. Like if I just go on my phone, I can get on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, all these different apps, and I haven't even left my bedroom yet. Like I haven't got out of bed and changed my clothes yet, and I can check all those things and know what's going on, what happened last night without even brushing my teeth yet. So I thought this was a great idea where students and teachers can get more involved, get more interconnected with their ideas. So the basic things that I was going to think about on the app was having the schedule. First day of school, when you pick up your schedule, important events, holidays, just general things like that can help students better prepare and better schedule their time. Sports announcements, ticket sales, when are the next basketball games, playoffs, all these big events that students want to get involved with and so do parents get along with. And then lunch menus. A big thing at our school is we have so many different ways you can buy lunch. You have a main cafe, you can go fast food, you can get a gourmet meal, you have all these different varieties of food that you can get, but some people don't even do that. Some people just stick to one centralized area and never try others. So this way people can try other foods, try other new things. And then clubs, another huge thing at our school. We have so many different clubs. We have over 50 different clubs at our school that meet every week. We have clubs like Math Club, Junior Achievement that started last year, Key Club, National Honor Society, National Junior Honor Society, all these different clubs that are in our school that not a lot of people are involved in. So if we get more clubs get involved, more students get involved in the clubs, it just be a great way for students and teachers to get more connected with their community. and then most importantly, grades. Apparently for parents, grades are really important to their students, and students really don't mind they check their grades accordingly, but parents really care about students' grades and how they perform in the classroom. So grades are a huge thing. So later on in the stages, I thought about, because the first idea was just to get the app out there, get people involved in it, get people to get the app for free, and then keep on like building the community, and then we can go into stuff like social interaction. What I mean by that is, sorry, I'm really nervous, I'm stuttering. Social interaction, what I mean by that is where students can talk to their teachers directly, like send them like a quick email saying like, I have a problem, I have a question on this problem, can you work on it tomorrow? That way teachers know beforehand what to prepare for the next day. That way they're more prepared, students are more learning more, and it's just like a better way for the school day to go on. And then later down the road, you can have forums where they form study groups in those forums, and they can like discuss activities they did in class, or want to form a study group to study for a test and stuff like that. And then finally, ticket sales, which are a huge thing in all high schools and all schools around the nation, which is buying tickets for football games, basketball games, baseball games, and stuff like that. So when I thought of this idea, I didn't know how much it cost at the beginning. So I thought, oh, maybe I could get a group of friends together, we could work on it for a couple of months, not spend a lot of money, enjoy, eat some pizza while we're developing it, stuff like that. So then I finally sat down and I thought to myself, how much is it really going to cost me to make an app that has all this stuff? So I talked to some of my friends and uncles and stuff like that who are in like the technology business, the IT side of business and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, so they said outrageous numbers. I was like, oh my gosh. So I finally came down to a number where I thought I could get this done in this amount of money and be able to make it successful enough where I can create a next step. So the amount that finally came to my mind was $25,000. It's an outrageous amount even for me. I thought, oh my God, where am I going to get $25,000 to create an app that I've thought about for a couple months now? So the reason why I came here is not to ask you for money. No way am I going to do that. I'm just what I'm asking you is, how can you guys help me out? How can you guys think of more ideas for me to do, which can help me out and better and help me create this thing that I thought about for such a long time. So that's the reason I'm here today, just to inform you guys.
All right, that opens it up for questions, or even like you said, you're wanting some feedback. So giving them some feedback. So if you could get my attention, raise your hand, and we'll go ahead and start.
Suhan, I just have a question about permissions on there. I know there's been a lot of times in my kids' lives that they maybe didn't want to know everything they were communicating or going on in school. Do you have different tiers of permissions between parents, teachers, and students where I can see certain stuff but not other stuff?
Yeah, they have, like on the website, they have that where only parents can see, where they sign in and parents only see, and then students have a different information site. So that's definitely available for me to do. I mean, like, I'm still open to ideas. Like, I thought of this and I wanted to do it so badly, but I never had the resources or the ability to do it. So, like, any idea that you guys give to me are, like, wonderful ideas. So, yeah, I definitely thought about that, like, where parents only see certain things that students don't need or parents don't want the students to see. So, that's definitely
Have you thought about monetizing this app? How would you make it something sustainable that...
Oh, well, like, first I thought, like, Union could be a start. And that way, if I start with Union, it starts to grow and become bigger. That way I can go to different high schools, like Jinx, Broken Arrow, Bishop Kelly, all these schools that are around the Tulsa area. And then I could go bigger into, like, Oklahoma City, Edmond, and all that stuff. Another way that I thought I could do this is there's a lot of local communities here that help with that are just in the Tulsa area you can't find anywhere else. There's a store right next door to our high school. It's called Pizza Depot. Pizza Depot is right next to our school. The owner is a former Union graduate, he only has one store there, and he said he would be a great support in anything union based. So local communities, local people who can help out with the community is a great way for me to help build this up.
You identified the need for $25,000 to put the app together. Have you looked at where that $25,000 is going to come from? For example, could you look to Kickstarter and help you get some help to put together a Kickstarter proposal?
First, I don't have a business-minded idea. I just thought of this idea as something that could help my community. I didn't really know where I would get the $25,000. At first, I thought it would just be with investors who could invest. But since you mentioned Kickstarter, doing a Kickstarter, that would be a great idea, and I would love to do that. So if I could get any help with that, I would definitely do that. Because I'm still open to any possibilities I can do. Because I just thought of the idea. I wanted to come out here and see if I could get any feedback on the idea. So Kickstarter would be a great way. So thank you for that.
Just a business observation that I have is that IT budgets for businesses are growing a lot right now. And so a mobile or an app is basically a way of optimizing a mobile experience of a website. So you might be able to go to Union School themselves and say, hey, you need to do this for your website. And then so basically you sell them an additional service. So it might be something that you actually have the schools pay for within their IT budgets. Have you checked into that?
I actually did. I actually talked to our IT director who was there, and he said that he tried to push something like this before, but it could never happen because the school wasn't going to do it at all. They thought they wanted to do an app, but there was no pushing, there was no funding for it. So the IT guy suggested if I do it privately and just get the board to sign off on the idea, it's a better way to do it. So he said don't even worry about them because they will not sign off if you want to do it through the school where they have to fund it.
I love the idea. I think it's really great. So I've worked with a lot of schools, and I definitely see the need. Have you looked at what other apps or websites or things like that are out there that could be competitors or like what you're doing, and then how you might be different?
There are definitely apps for colleges. I know there's a lot of apps for OU and stuff. OU, OSU, there's a bunch of apps for that. But there's no apps that are centralized high schools. There's no app that there's no indirect app I can go to say I want to go to Union High School or Broken Arrow High School and get on their website and stuff like that. The only way you can do it is get it on their website. And that's a hassle if you don't want all that information stuck in your face. So yeah, this is going to be like the first one that's just centralized high schools.
So how do you say you make it and you've got a working model, how do you push it among your peers? How do you make it, like, for lack of a better term, how do you make it cool or trendy or make people repeat use it?
Well, the best way to spread away, I think, is word of mouth. So if one person sees it, they like the idea, they send it to someone else. So if we can just get the word of mouth going, saying, oh, this is a great way for me to stay in touch with my school, and instead of me selling, going on putting advertising, I'll put advertising places like Josh's Snow Shack and stuff like that, where people go and students go and hang out and stuff, where they can just a QR code, scan it, and they get the app right there, and then basically word of mouth and push it the other way. So those are my two ideas so far.
Have you thought about looking into a company that develops these types of apps and maybe going to them and saying, hey, we've developed a white app that then we can use for Union, and then they can develop it and take it and sell it or whatever to other school districts or to smaller colleges?
I have not done that yet. I've thought about it, but I haven't actually gone and talked to somebody about it. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do it with your help today.
So I may be able to help you with that because I've developed a white label app for universities in the past couple of years. So I'm going to go talk to him, and so the next time you're asked that, you can say yes. So we'll talk more, but that's exactly kind of what, because in the university competitors, there's Blackboard that produces apps, and they charge universities $40,000-$50,000. And but anyway, it's a model that can be used in high schools also. So
87%.
It's me again. So what made you want to do this? Want to do an app? What makes you want to do an entrepreneurship thing? And I know you just graduated. What's the next step for you, both with this business and the rest of your life going on?
With this business, I first just thought it would be like a cool idea to do just out of the blue, but then as the more I thought about it, I thought maybe I could actually do something with this, create a legitimate business where I could not only help people, but also help me go through college without worrying my parents too much. That was a main idea. So with this business, I really want to grow it into all the high schools that are around the Tulsa area and make it like a community-driven thing. And then in my future, I'm not doing anything in business. I just want to say that I'm doing chemical engineering as my major, so it has nothing to do with business. But I love the business side of everything, like starting something from the ground up and doing it by yourself and doing it with people that love what you thought about and love the idea of doing it. So that's basically my motivation.
Awesome. Suhas, just one last question. What can we, the community, do to help you?
Well, the community can help me by just giving me more ideas. You know, I have no experience in the IT department. I have no experience in developing anything. I basically thought of the idea and then wanted to do it, but I didn't know how. So how I can do it, how can anybody help me? That's basically what I'm doing today, just to ask for help, just to see if anybody can help me and help me pursue this idea that I have for the app.
Awesome. Let's give him a hand. I too had a high school moment with junior achievement. We kind of started a business, and we actually sold bingo shirts, and they were bingo shirts. That's how we had to raise our money. And they changed colors in the sun, so we had to hustle to sell bingo shirts. So I have a huge fan of junior achievement. And,
tell more stories every week, Brad.
What's that?
Tell more stories every week.
Yes. But just a few announcements this morning. The Cargo, they actually presented here last week. They're from Oklahoma City. It's really neat. They got accepted into a women's startup lab accelerator in Silicon Valley. And also the Summit, which is a Dublin conference going on. She was saying that some of the companies like Uber and Spotify got started through these programs, so it was really kind of exciting to hear that. Also, Get in the Ring, the American Startup Clash. Applications are due August 15th. If you need more information, please sign up for the newsletter. That goes out every Monday. It kind of gives you all that information. The 1 Million Cups newsletter. Launch Oklahoma is accepting applications for its accelerator program. So please, if you need more information on that, just let us know. And then, real quick, we've got kind of an update. Kristen from Cultural Outreach Solutions presented in January, and she's kind of got an update on where she's at. So let's give it up for Kristen.
So, if any of you were here in January, business has evolved quite a bit since then, as I'm sure they always do. But my mission was out to help businesses become more culturally competent. And in the process, we had a CCW team working on our business, and it led us to target in on the financial industry and mortgage companies and banks. So lucky for us, there was a new regulation that came out this year in the Dodd-Frank that requires businesses to have diversity assessments and make progress towards diversity and inclusion. So we've been really focusing in on that and developed a product specifically to help meet those needs. But and I got to speak at the National Mortgage Bankers Association conference on the subject, and I'm getting more connected in that way, but I'm still having trouble getting connected in the mortgage industry locally. So if anyone has any connections to banks or mortgage companies or anyone that works with them as well, because there's some vendor requirements, please get in touch with me. And I'm also recruiting for a couple of interns to hire. So if you guys have any suggestions in either of those areas, I would appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Chris. Okay, second up is probably one of our biggest fans here. He's been coming for, you said 9 months? 9 weeks, okay, since school got out. Forrest Hole is going to be presenting his app business idea. Let's give it up for Forrest this morning.
Hi everyone, so as Brad said, my name is Forrest Hole. I am 16 years old. I'm going to be a senior at Jenks High School next year, and I am here to represent my two companies, Forward Designs and Digitality. And Digitality is kind of a venture, but I'll cover that here in a second. Before I get into that, I just want to talk a little bit about why 16-year-old is telling you about entrepreneurship. So when I was 13 years old, I had my first business experience. I learned how to weld and started making necklaces and selling them at school and at church. And I really enjoyed it. And more than just making that and making money at 13, stuff like that. So one thing that I really learned from that was I loved entrepreneurship, and I loved business, and I loved the kind of enjoyment of being able to create your own way and kind of make your own luck in business. So that necklace business that kind of started when I was 13 is in a different form now called Forward Designs. So Forward Designs, I make unique, handmade, both rustic and modern and male and female jewelry. So for instance, on the left there, that's more of a rustic cross necklace, and on the right, that's a little bit more modern. Here you have some varieties, more for women. There's a petite, excuse me, I'm a teenager. There's a more of a petite cross on the left, and on the right, there's a ring made out of a spoon handle. So, everyone can kind of find a product that they really like. So I launched Forward Designs under the name Forward Designs July 1st, 2013. And after launching, I decided the next step that I needed to take was to launch a website. So on August 1st, 2013, forwarddesigns.com, or excuse me, .us was launched, and you can see a snapshot here. Had a lot of fun doing it. On the website, you can order products, view products, you can leave feedback with the contact tab. Had a really good time making the website, got to learn a lot about web design, web marketing, and web layout. Really good learning experience in that. So after the website and the official kind of launch of the company, I was really trying to find out what would be the next step for a Forward Design team on the website. And the answer seemed pretty obvious to me, and that was retail. So February 1st, 2014, Forward Designs got a spot in a place called River City Trading Post on Main Street, Jenks, and that again has been a fantastic learning experience. I've been in the black every month that I've been there. I learned a lot about general retail management and restocking and keeping a thing like this looking really aesthetically nice and good. So that's been a great experience in retail. So that is Forward Designs. Now the next thing that I'm looking into and spending 70 to 80% of my time doing is iPhone application development. Okay, so I've moved towards iPhone application development while still doing Forward Design on the side. Spending most of my summer doing this, and I am doing it under the name Digerati. Okay, so Digerati, although it seems like a really funky name, the logo is cool, it actually has some meaning to it. Digerati is a noun that means people with expertise or professional involvement in information technology. So, it actually has a pretty good fit with someone who's creating iPhone apps. So, had a really good time doing that. I wanted to get into iPhone apps since I was a freshman in high school, and I came up with an idea for an app. Now, to that point, I had no experience or background in programming or computers in any way. So the ignorant and optimistic me decided to go out and buy some books on teaching you how to program. Now, little did I know that buying a book teaching you how to program is like buying a book teaching you how to read. It really doesn't work. So with that loss, I took some classes in high school and did a lot of self-teaching, and 2 years later, this past April, I got my iPhone application development license from Apple. And just 2 weeks ago, released my first app called Good News. So Good News is a iPhone application for people who want to share the gospel in their workplace, on mission trips, in their in schools, etc. So here's a couple screenshots from the app. The special thing about Good News is you can spread the gospel in not only English but Spanish and Mandarin Chinese. So that's really exciting because I'm going to Mexico tomorrow on a mission trip, and I'll be able to utilize that and have a really good time with that. So that's something I'm really excited about. So coming soon, next up for Digerati, kind of where I'm moving it towards, my original idea that I had freshman year was a game, and right now the development for that game is well underway, and I intend to launch this fall. And if I can, I'd like to come back and present about it when it's launched. After that, I want to move Digerati to kind of a place where you could call it a iPhone design firm, in the sense that people who have good ideas, like Too Cool for School, can come to us and say, hey, I have this great idea, will you make it for me? And me, myself, or me and my team can create working, monetizable products that we can pump out and people will really enjoy, and we can assure mutual success for the person who has the idea for the app and for me and hopefully my team who is creating it. So that's Digerati and Forward Science.
All right. This opens us up for questions and comments. Just start.
Have you checked on the Digerati? I like the name. Have you checked on the Secretary of State's website or anything to reserve the name to make sure something like that isn't taken?
I've done minimal research into that. It's open to my knowledge, but I could be wrong because there's all kinds of weird websites and things that are taken. So I hope to get it there. So, but I've got the logo design, so I'm halfway there.
On the forward designs, are you doing any reselling to other vendors that want to maybe represent that product?
You mean like wholesale?
Yes.
No, I'm not. I've looked into it and I've tried to. Towards the end of last year, I was having talks with people like the Gadget Shop. It's downtown. I don't know the exact address. Yeah, well, I was talking to the owner of that, and that didn't quite work out. But I've looked into it, but I haven't really had the opportunity to. If the opportunity came, I would probably entertain that. But it all depends. It's a case-to-case basis.
Forrest, what has been the most challenging thing about the Digerati learning program? What would you recommend to someone who is wanting to teach themselves or learn, as far as resources, things like that?
Okay, so the hardest thing for me is learning kind of scope of knowledge, for lack of a better term, when it comes to programming. I went from totally bare minimum, no coding background at all, to creating iPhone apps, and it was not easy whatsoever, and I'm still learning a lot. There's a lot of the emotion of failure in, because you get one line of code wrong and your whole program doesn't work. So a lot of perseverance in that, and there's a lot of times when I wanted to give up. A lot of times experiencing the emotion of failure, but now, kind of feeling somewhat, not success as far as business success yet, but just personal enjoyment of being able to know that I can go out and I can design stuff, and I can create things like Good News, and a product that I have is being used in China or something like that. It's really satisfying. So definitely learning how to program is the hardest hurdle.
Forrest, you excite me. Your whole passion just to do whatever it takes is awesome. My daughter actually has a question. She wants to know if Forward Design is making any sort of jewelry animals.
Jewelry animals. I've done market research for that. Just kidding. But I'm not currently. I'm sorry, but I'll take it into consideration.
So you said your first business was at 13, and you had a lot of success from that, and that's kind of what's driven you. Do you have somebody that you're going to for mentorship, or do you have something that you've read that keeps you, aside from just coding books? That sounds scary. But is there something that you're trying to follow a certain path, or do you have somebody that's roughing you up like you rough everybody up here?
Well, one of the great things about entrepreneurship, and I'm sure all the entrepreneurs in the room understand this, is that you really don't have to have a direct path. And if you do have a path, you may be off path, because part of being an entrepreneur is not really knowing exactly where the next stair step is. You've got to be able to take chances and take risks in order to get, advancement. So, I do have a couple people in my life who I look to. My dad is an entrepreneur. He's an architect by trade, but he has his own business. A couple people who are in the city who I've just known. Places like 1 Million Cups, a fantastic outlet to just pick people's brains and be able to hear from people like you and people who have more experience and people who are older. So that's another fantastic outlet. So.
Forrest, you mentioned iPhone only, correct? Is that
correct? Well, so Good News right now is launched, and it's only available currently for iPhone 5 and above. I promise another version where all the other iPhones can use it too, and iPad versions are coming. But when I launch my game this fall, it will be cross-platform.
And then what made you pick the specific languages? You mentioned Mandarin and Chinese, is that correct?
Mandarin is Chinese, so it's English, Spanish, and Mandarin Chinese. I've been to China on a mission trip, so that was kind of a place in my heart that I wanted to teach. My sister is majoring in Chinese, so that was obviously a choice. And then Spanish, I'm going to Mexico for a mission trip, so that was there, and it all kind of fitted like that.
Forrest, your Good News app, what's some of the capabilities of sharing the gospel, or what does that look like when you're using the app?
Well, so here's some snapshots. For someone who is a Christian and is looking to evangelize, one of the things that is very difficult is a lot of times we get kind of confused with it being like a script, and we kind of try and repeat it in our brains, and we go in with expectations, and it doesn't quite work out the way we want it to. So what Good News does is it kind of takes the remembering how everything goes and being in the moment and being nervous out of that experience. So you can go in, and on Good News you have scripture to draw from that's right on screen. You have the different languages. You have, I don't have a picture of this screen here, but there's cues as to what to do next, and to make sure to do this and to make sure to do that. So it makes it a lot easier, and it kind of takes the burden off and provides more space for kind of face-to-face contact.
So go and download the Good News app,
Yep,
correct?
if you have an iPhone 5 or above.
And we had somebody download it on iPhone 4 and said it's working. Oh, favor. Yeah, awesome. Good. Well, let's, one last question, Forrest, is what can we, the community, do to help you with Forward Designs and Digitary?
Digital.
Digital.
Okay. So, as far as Forward Designs goes, you know, of course, just going on the website, checking out the products. It's a really affordable brand. Go on the website, leave feedback. I'd love to hear, you know, input and feedback from the community. Give me criticism face to face. And of course, you know, follow Forward Designs on Twitter and Instagram. And for Digerati, just again, criticism in the future when I can present my game this fall. You know, go download the free version if you like it, buy it. If not, tell a friend about it. Other than that, just constructive criticism.
All right, thank you, Forrest.
Dustin was giving you some man love on Twitter, and then a certain former mayor also gave you some love. So maybe check that out. You're famous now in Tulsa. All right, next up. Well, I guess before we move on, I should thank Janae. She pulled all this together with some of the junior achievement guys, which are here. You're gonna hear from another one. So give it up for Janae. Next up, it's custom creations. And we have Kay. She's going to talk about a cool gift idea. You can come. Cool gift ideas and a couple products that they've put together. So give it up for Kay.
Okay, as he said, I'm Kay King from Customized Creations, and what we do is we want to make gift giving for certain holidays easier and more affordable. That way we don't have to spend our precious time that we have going out and shopping and spending hours at Target and Walmart and the mall, when we could just buy it from somebody and have them delivered to us or go pick it up within minutes. So we started this year, well, last year in the fall, but this year was our first year to really go at it and develop. So one of our first ideas was this whole app, but we decided that was going to take too much time and we really wanted to get started now. So we also had the surprise balls, which were little balls full of surprise gifts that you could buy and give to your friends, and it'd be like a shock, like, oh, I got a ton of Jacks, or I got some confetti and a ball. But this year we did themed gift baskets. We did Easter, Valentine's Day, and we were in works for graduation, but it just came up too close for us, so we were unable to do that. And so we did theme baskets. And our goals, as I said, were to make simple, holidays simple, stress-free, and affordable for everybody, teen, parents, even some of our teachers. And our experiences were changes. We definitely had to go with the flow and had to change as problems came up. And we definitely had changes with the products and who we were as people, and even our management at one point took over because things just got in the way, and that was definitely a big change, but it definitely was for the better. And we did social impacts, and for Easter we donated a whole bunch of our baskets to a local elementary school who was, they had a low income school, so we gave out Easter baskets to them so they could have a nicer Easter. And we also did leadership and entrepreneurship experience as people. As entrepreneurship, we've learned how to sell our stock, gain capital, market to other people, market to our students, our teachers, some of our school staff, everybody. And as that, we grew in our leadership. We learned to take charge, get our ideas out there, and get our ideas to each other, our students, and how to gain in feedback from them as that went on. And most of our company did graduate this year, except for 2 members, and that's me and another girl. And so this year I will be taking over. And what we plan to do is we plan to continue the company. We really want to do baskets, but if we come up with a better idea, we will continue with that. But we do plan to do more of the holidays such as maybe Halloween, Christmas, definitely graduation this year, and perhaps some others. And we really want to go beyond just our school union. We want to go out to Broken Arrow, Jinx, maybe some businesses and some small companies and stuff like that.
All right. That opens us up for questions. I'm gonna start it off real quick. Can you tell us a little bit about the program? It's a 2-year program, is that right? Or it's a 1-year program and then you guys are breaking it into?
It's technically a 12-week program, but the last year they started a club, so the students of their own started an entrepreneurship club, and so they're kind of doing it year round, which is good because they get that, learning to start your own business and actually trying to start your business in 12 weeks is kind of much, so it's kind of spreading out.
So Kay, are you the president next year?
Yes, well, we decided to make it more businessy, and we went with CEO and CFO.
Okay, CEO. And then so you have a COO?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Well, currently we do not, but this past year we did.
Okay, so what's your kind of projection for this year with that?
Well, this year I plan to do Rush Week and definitely get everybody out there. And our school has this thing called we do have it on the TV, and we do running announcement. So I was planning on doing that, like join entrepreneurship and just do updates on what we're doing and what we do.
Has there ever been anything like this at Union before, do you know?
Not that I know of, but it's definitely a great program that I hope that we can still have 50 years from now.
That's exciting. Good question.
First of all, thank you for getting up and sharing. I know how nerve-wracking it is to even think about grabbing a microphone, much less talking for 4 minutes about what you're doing. Can you tell us just a little bit more about some of the products you have? You mentioned a basket. What's in the basket, and then what are some of the options that you can put in the basket? And then talk to me about how much does it cost, and what do you sell it for?
Well, our first basket was the Easter basket, and we had, I believe, 2 different baskets for Valentine's Day baskets, and we had the regular basket, which just had tons of Hershey's Kisses, a fake flower, and just other Valentine's Day gifts. And then we had the deluxe version, which you could add even a full-size candy bar, king-size candy bar, a real rose flower, and a little stuffed animal. And what we did is we had to figure out how much it would cost, and so we would buy in bulk, and we figure out what was the main way we could get all of those items for the cheapest cost and for the best cost. And then we had to figure out how much profit we needed to make from each basket, and so we did factor in like that. And we even did the Easter basket, like I said, and we did small little Easter baskets, pink and blue, that had little Easter bunnies on them, or on the ring, and we did fill them up with Easter grass, fake Easter grass, and we did a little fake bunny, and we did a cuddly bunny, and we did tons of little small candy, we did little Easter egg lollipops, and the kids really enjoyed them, and they loved them.
So how much was a deluxe basket, and how much was a
We had a normal basket, which was $12, or no, it was $10, and then we did the $15 one, which had little mini crosses that we could not add by ourselves. They had to be an add-on, so we had to pay extra for them because we were selling them at school. And then we had a little cloth, we had a bigger chocolate bunny, I believe, and just some extra candy that we could put in there.
Question in the front?
Could we buy one?
We did them at our school, and we sold them during lunch and during the morning. But we also sold them, we did order forms at the U-Wear store, which is at Union High School, that was in the UMAC Center, and that's where we sold them. And then this year we were planning on going out to the other high schools, perhaps Broken Arrow, James, and maybe other smaller stores that would like to invest in us.
Tell me about the process, because as an insider, I know you started out with the Valentine's Day baskets and you had individual add-on pieces, and then by Easter you decided that you were going to do 2 separate baskets that already had everything in it. Do you remember the process and how you guys came to that decision to do it that way, and what market studies you did?
Well, I recently did research on market studies, and then what we did is we figured out like what somebody would want in an Easter basket. and then we did like basics, what somebody would really want, and then we did extra things that we could add on that somebody would pay extra for that they would really want. And that's how we decided. We worked together, and then we went on websites, and we kind of looked around at stores, and we saw how much they were, and how much we can get involved and stuff like that.
Okay, you said I have two questions. You said you found out how to gain feedback from your peers. How did you do that?
When we did it, we would just ask you like, hey, how did you like it? How did it turn out? When we saw them around school and stuff like that.
And then, did you say sell our stock? You were going to
We
sell
sold
your
stock to our friends, our peers, our family, and we sold them for $1 or $2, and then at the end of the year when we made profit, we sold them back or we gave them back just a little bit extra, so that way next year when we do it, we can resell them more stock and stuff like that.
That's what I did. And then, based on this little girl over here who asked you how she could buy one, maybe that's the next step is to put them online for sale to the public in case some of your followers in other areas might want.
Well, we were planning on doing that, but we just didn't have the resources yet. We were still pretty new at what we were doing, so we decided to wait until next year. So this year, that's what I was thinking of doing. We were going to set up a Facebook page and Twitter and everything this year, and just start brand new and go from there.
When I was doing junior achievement, I remember my first day of class, they told me that I could actually make money in the class. Is that still the same? Like,
Yes.
okay.
We made money, but all our profits we donated to St. Jude's charity instead of keeping it for ourselves. And hopefully this year, if we make a bit more money, we can keep some of it, but still we really want to donate to a charity, a good cause like St. Jude.
I kept my money. I didn't. You're doing it right.
Okay, this may be a shameless plug, but how do you think your involvement in this program has shaped your ideas about business, entrepreneurship, and maybe what you want to do in the future?
It definitely opened me up to what businesses actually do. I didn't really think about the processes, like how much things would cost. I would think about like, wow, I share like $300, and I'd see like, oh, well, they had to go buy the fabric, and they have to pay for the employees, they have to pay for their health care and everything. And it just really opened me up how much things cost and how much work they really put into just making that shirt or making that product.
I have a question for Janae. I'm familiar with the BizTown for the younger kids, but how can we get involved with junior achievement?
I'm so glad you asked.
Janae's question.
Okay, sorry. And I'm sorry, okay, you're doing awesome, but if I could take a little bit of your time, that would be wonderful. Okay, I've been involved with the Junior Achievement Company program for about 5 years, and like I said, this is the first time that they've done an entrepreneurship club and really taken it throughout the whole year. There are other JA Company programs, which is a high school program around the city in different schools. JA would love your involvement. The company program is a little bit longer. There are the JA Investor Challenge, which teaches kids about the stock market, how that works, investing in it. They basically go through a blitz stock market day. They do personal finance, all these things. You cannot imagine how impactful they are to the students. Suhas said that he's not planning on going into business or doing anything business. He would not be the first of my students to say that and then end up going into business or doing something related. So, and even if he doesn't, these are good principles, these are good things for him to understand. So if you want to be involved, come find me. You can ask anybody for my email. Please contact me because it is a very worthwhile program. Get involved in these students' lives. I mean, they have high school, they have elementary, they have a lot of different levels, and I really, from what I've seen in their programs, I really, really believe in it. And I really love, you guys would be awesome mentors, awesome people to come in. I'll let you come in and talk to the students just for one afternoon if you don't have time to get involved a lot. Whatever, come find me. It'll be wonderful.
Yeah, I was going to ask the commitment level. So you said just one afternoon.
All kinds. They have some programs that are like once a week for 4 weeks. They have sometimes that you can just come in for a day. They have programs like this where it was a 12-week program, and started out with a group of 4, and we rotated. Now it's a lot, just me, and I go through a whole year. So you can be involved a lot, or really ongoing, or you can have small commitments. Whatever you do, I can help you find a place. I'll coordinate. I'm not with JA, but I think it's good stuff for the community.
I was going to say something in support of her stuff. I've done junior achievement where I went in and did talking, and you can do junior achievement, which is surprising, everywhere from kindergarten up to high school. And it is, I can't tell you how absolutely rewarding it is and touching. I might even get teared up to go into these kindergarten classes and you sit there and read stories and when kids say goodbye and how you get connected and in touch with and just the philosophies and theories. You're teaching kids in kindergarten, in first grade, and second grade. It's absolutely rewarding and worth it. Like you said, minimal time. You walk in, you're in an hour, 15 minutes, you're out, it's done. Or you can do half a day, but it's worth it.
Right. Kay, I've got a couple of teenagers here, and I always ask them, and they hate it, but what do you want to be when you grow up? What are some of your goals? What are you looking at doing?
I actually plan to be an obstetrician, and I know most doctors and obstetricians, they do their own businesses, some of them. I'm not sure if that's what I want to do, but definitely if I do, this will be a tremendous amount of help in everything.
We'll go ahead and kind of wrap it up. Just one last question, Kay. As an audience here, what can we do to help you? What can the community do to help you in custom creations?
If you have any ideas about holiday baskets, you can definitely tweet me. That's my handle right there. And I'm also on Instagram at K_King16. And if you direct message me, I will definitely reply and thank you. And hopefully we'll be getting the Facebook and the Twitter and the Tumblr and every social media site we can think of for customized creations. And once we get that out, I will tweet that out. So definitely any feedback will be great feedback.
Awesome. Give it up for Kay. Well, thanks to all of our students who presented today. It's pretty awesome that they would come up and present in front of a bunch of strangers and adults. So we appreciate, we're excited for what you guys are going to be doing in the future and know that you're going to be the next Mark Zuckerberg, I'm sure. Maybe a nicer guy. So thanks everybody for coming. We'll be back here next week. We've had a rush of applications, so if you sent people to apply to present, we appreciate it. We are booked way into September now, so we're super excited about that. Lots of great companies going to be presenting over the next couple of weeks. But as always, we need more companies, so would love to for you to apply or send someone our way who you think would be great to apply. And we also would love ideas for future. If you have noticed, our last Wednesday of the month we do something special like Student Day. So we'd love more ideas on that. So thanks for being here, and we'll see you all next week.